Properly motion, properly seconded. Representative Jones is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This also has an amendment, and you all should have received the amendment.
Properly moved, properly seconded. I need the amendment number, ma'am.
014495.
014495 is the amendment.
The amendment makes just a very few changes in the bill. One is a definition of cannabis, which means any mixture or preparation thereof from the leaves and flowers of the female cannabis plant, excluding seed stalks and roots. The other one, regulated dispensaries shall be housed in locations that are not visible or accessible to members of the general public, only to the patients and their caregivers. Section 5, the enrollment process shall include instructing patients on their options for obtaining cannabis mixtures and preparations and the safest and most effective methods for their use. And then in Section 7, the program shall be funded by a 10% gross receipts tax on the retail sale of cannabis. Excess revenues will be used to provide supplemental funding for indigent health care, substance abuse treatment, and school-based substance abuse prevention programming.
Any questions for Representative Jones on this amendment? Are you prepared to vote on the amendment? You're prepared to vote on the amendment? All those in favor?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like a roll call vote on all of
She's
them.
requested a roll call vote on everything. All those in favor of the amendment, the clerk will be calling the roll.
Representative Hill of Sullivan. Representative Jernigan.
Aye.
Representative Johnson of Knox.
Aye.
Representative Littleton. Chairman Ramsey. Representative Sexton. Chairman Turner of Davidson. Representative Williams of Putnam. Chairman Rich.
Okay. Eight ayes, one present not voting. Give me back on House Bill 1385 as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I explain the bill a little bit, I want to tell you about the corrected fiscal note. The corrected fiscal note will indicate that the state of Tennessee will make a minimum of $5 million in revenues with this program, plus another 10% on sales tax, which fiscal has decided would probably double that $5 million to $10 million, and that would be in the first year of operation. So you're looking at a $10 million positive fiscal note for this legislation. Medical marijuana is a plant. It's a plant that has been used widely over 5,000 years. It was just a native plant. Native Americans used it a lot. The federal government still provides medical marijuana to some of our citizens for medical purposes. And marijuana was also legal in the state of Tennessee during the mid-'80s. As a matter of fact, the U.S. government believes so much in this plant that it has a patent on it. 22 other states in Washington, D.C. have already passed some form of marijuana legislation for either medical purposes, or they've simply legalized or decriminalized the product. 13 other states across the U.S. have legislation in place right now to approve medical marijuana or legalization. With that being said, that means that Tennessee could either be number 36 in a line of states that have approved use of marijuana, or it could be where we usually are, and that would be at number 49 or 50. The USA Today reports that the Federal Treasury and Justice Departments have provided new guidelines to the banking industry aimed at making it easier for state legalized marijuana businesses to have greater access to financial institutions. Vanderbilt University has completed a medical study and reported in the Tennessean that our bodies have cannabinoid receptors in parts of our brains that help marijuana have positive effects on people. Those receptors we did not know about until just recently. On a report from NPR, they stated that over 1 million sick people currently use medical cannabis for severe symptoms. And I would imagine that that would be much, much more because people have to go to the street to get medical marijuana now. The Madison family, whose dad came up last for the public hearing, stated that this plant took their daughter from 600 seizures a day to 2. The European Journal of Neurology reports positive effects on MS. The Canadian Medical Association reports that it reduces the intensity of pain and improves sleep. The Journal of Pain and Symptom Management says that patients have positive effects in the relief of pain from cancer when opioids do not work. University of California says it significantly reduces pain and neuropathy pain.
Representative Jones, I believe and due to time limits, we have this room about another 15 minutes. There is someone I promised to let him testify for a few minutes. If you don't mind, if we go out of session and let's hear from him, then I'll come right back to you. Brett, would you like to?
I really appreciate that. Thanks again.
You're welcome to come up. And if you would just try to keep your comments to 3 minutes, because we do have to hear from the department as well.
I appreciate y'all. You're a good guy. I just have 3 minutes back. Okay, yeah, that's cool. I had a brain injury when
Brett, would you identify yourself?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm Brett. I was an intern here. I'm just, living the dream, at least trying, because I had a traumatic brain injury where I couldn't walk, talk, read, write, eat, swallow. But half of my skull is now titanium. It damages the right side of my body. But my neurologist told me I don't know why cigarettes and alcohol are legal because if you have ever been hungover, probably so. And I'm appreciative you telling the patent because it's 663507B1 and that it has cannabis in it, but weed is legal. Or Mother Nature, should I call it? And y'all know I'm not lying. Okay, well, Colorado makes about $200 million in 18 months. Is that good? In my opinion, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And all these people, it just breaks my heart. All these people around here, little children. Some girl was having 300 seizures a week. They put one drop under her tongue, the cannabis drop, and she has 1 seizure every month or every week. And she died off her medicine, but they said don't take you, but you have high blood pressure. Why take it? Why take it then? Anyway, really appreciate y'all letting me come out here to speak. Really appreciate that. Anyway, y'all have a good one.
Brett, thank you. And we appreciate your work here today. And I appreciate him coming to see me this morning. Representative Jones, while we're out of session, I need to hear from the department as well.
Which department?
The Department of Health. A few weeks ago, we had the hearing in Full Health, and I agreed to let us have a Full Health Committee meeting to hear from proponents of the bill. And I did stray from just allowing opponents to allow Brett to testify. But since no one was testified in the committee on the other side of the issue, I think it's only fair that we allow them to testify here today. So if the department would like to come up and talk about this particular bill, then please identify yourself, give us your thoughts, and then we'll go back into session for Representative Jones.
Sure. Thank you, Chairman Rich. My name is David Reagan. I'm the Chief Medical Officer for the Tennessee Department of Health, and referring to the bill that was just presented. And this is an issue that raises passion on many sides, it's clear.
Sir, I don't mean to interrupt.
Yes.
You said you're the chief medical officer, so would that make you a physician?
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Reagan.
Yes. Parents whose children are affected by debilitating diseases, including tractable seizures, are appropriately concerned, as all of the rest of us, about what could be done about that. And many people sincerely believe that medical marijuana is or could be an effective treatment for their illnesses. But we have to also understand that much is not known about the safety and efficacy of medical marijuana. The desire to have the option of compassionate use is completely understandable. There are three things, though, that I think we need to think about. The first is, we do need to know, is this a safe and effective medication? And as I said, this is a mix, medical marijuana is a mix of a lot of different compounds. THC, or tetrahydrocannabinol, is the most common of those, but there are between 400 and 500 compounds in the plant that are bioactive. So this THC, the primary active ingredient, is available in 3 forms and is FDA approved for the loss of appetite in persons with AIDS and for chemotherapy-induced nausea and vomiting. It's available as a liquid-filled capsule. And there's another oral mucosal spray, Sativex, which is currently in clinical trials. Scientific evidence does show that there are some significant side effects. Those include cardiovascular, dermatologic, gastrointestinal, neurologic, and psychiatric issues. And in layman's terms, these are things that we want to understand better in terms of safety and efficacy. Pregnant women who use cannabis are more likely to deliver babies who are low birth weight preterm, and those babies are more likely to be sick enough to need a neonatal intensive care unit admission. And regular marijuana use in adolescents, which is defined as at least once per week, is correlated with an average decrease in IQ of about 10 points, which lasts into adulthood. So what's happened in other states? We're certainly not the first one to consider this. What has happened in other states who have adopted medical marijuana? Well, first thing that is very consistent, I think we need to know about, is that motor vehicle accidents and fatal motor vehicle accidents do increase. In Colorado, which legalized medical marijuana in 2006, the rate of fatal motor vehicle accidents where only cannabis was involved increased 148% in the next 5 years. That is well documented. 2 recent literature reviews found an increased risk of 1.9 to 2.6-fold for all motor vehicle accidents. And also, if you look at Colorado, which is sort of been out front on this issue, if you look at youth who are using this not for intractable seizures, youth in Colorado were 10% more likely in the U.S. than the U.S. average to use cannabis in 2006, and in 2011, they were 40% more likely to use marijuana than the U.S. average. So what about the current medical cannabis bill? And we believe this is a well-intentioned bill. It, however, defines qualifying medical conditions very broadly, including any chronic medical condition and any other medical condition or treatment as it is certified or prescribed by practitioners and approved by the health department. That is very broadly written. And we believe that it's not focused on compassionate use of medical marijuana as a last resort. The bill is also unclear as to many of its regulatory assignments. So in conclusion, there is much to learn about the safety and effectiveness of medical cannabis. There are many unintended consequences of legalization of medical cannabis based on the experience of other states. Compassionate use is understandable, but that's not actually what this bill produces. We support maintenance of FDA safeguards for safety and effectiveness of medications and efforts by the National Institutes of Health to better understand which components of marijuana are actually a benefit. The NIH currently has about 383 studies that are available regarding marijuana on their website. So the Department of Health, in summary, thinks that the people of Tennessee are not well served by the passage of the current proposed legislation because we believe that the risks as a whole population outweigh the benefits. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Gray, there are going to be some questions for you. May I begin?